Before we start this week's update, I just want to highlight this guy, Barry Ryan. I didn't know Barry before 2 weeks ago. In the last 2 weeks, I've spoken to him every day. He's a bulldog. He gets things done. He won't give up on things. Just like myself, he knows how to make things happen. Good on you, Barry. This is for you. Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you a really quick update what we were up to just over 2 weeks since we started this Erebus medical project. The biggest thing is really that we've started making these screens in the thousands, and as of today, Good Friday, myself and the other Erebus guys have personally driven boxes of face shields to major tertiary hospitals around Melbourne. We've identified, I think it's about 45 tertiary hospitals around the country where we'll be sending these face shields to. Each of the boxes contains 43, and we're aiming to get them to both ED and ICU in the first instance. We've also identified another further number of major hospitals that have EDs and ICUs, and we'll be sending them to them in the second round, as well as to pre-hospital care, to ambulance services. But these shields are 0.75, they're washable face shields, which can complement existing PPE, and we know that there's a shortage of these at the moment, so the faster we can get these out, the better it will be to help protect healthcare workers. With our aerosol box as such, we no longer call it an aerosol box. I've started calling it a negative pressure box. Dr. Ginny Markson's made incredible training videos now showing how these boxes can be used for intubation. They're available on her YouTube channel, and I'd urge you to have a look at those. She's also got an excellent doffing video on how to take off PPE as well. Our face masks with the decathlon mask, we're really needing assistance in terms of government involvement now to secure the tens of thousands of these decathlon masks that we can possibly get. I've now given some out to, again, tertiary hospitals to get them to run sims and simulate and get approvals to confirm that they do work, which I know that they do. Moving on, also now looking at pre-hospital retrieval of respiratory patients, working out whether our negative pressure boxes can be converted. We did have a flat pack option. We've actually moved away from that and started making a moulding to make basically like a helmet to put onto any respiratory patient in their home before they're loaded into the back of an ambulance. And then in the ambulance, that could be connected to the suction units of the ambulances. We've done research to the suction units that are available in Ambulance Victoria ambulances. I mean, New South Wales have been the same. I've spoken to high-level paramedics in both organisations and waiting for them to come back as to whether they want to be involved in the development of these and or whether there's a need. I know there's a need. I've spoken to paramedics on the road. I'm going to show you one of my helmets that I have here, which is my Stormtrooper helmet. If you can imagine, when I put this on, it's covering my eyes and my mouth, and so the idea is that if you can imagine a patient that gets something like this on, but not like a Stormtrooper helmet, that we've suctioned here just to minimise droplets inside the cabin of an ambulance. It sounds really crazy. It is crazy, but just think of that, because where we're at is this. This is the first prototype of our negative pressure head mask, head helmet, I'm not sure what to call it yet. The guy at Erebus have had this moulded, and this is the very first example. I think there's a lot of issues with this because it is sort of human head shaped. It's going to be difficult to take it on and off. The shoulders are too wide. You've got to take into account people's different lengths in height. And I think this is a bit too close to the patient's face, and then it'll be a little bit claustrophobic, so we need to make this wider. The aim is to have the back three quarters of this device applied onto the patient, and only then the front face piece then gets put on inside the ambulance. It can just be velcroed around, but then have the suction tubing here to help suction the air away there. So these are some of the projects that we're working on. We're getting the shields out there because we know they're needed, but we're still working on all the other projects and hoping that the negative pressure box will get more acceptance. There's a lot of chatter about it on Twitter, some positive, some negative, but we'll see how that continues to develop. But we are working hard against this COVID pandemic. Thanks very much.